Professional judgment is a concept that many candidates have struggled with. This is because there is no single agreed definition of what constitutes professional judgment. However, understanding this concept is imperative as it is pervasive throughout the daily lives and activities of professionals. Research by West in 2003 indicated that without judgment, accounting would become nothing more than a book of rules for compliance. Before we look at professional judgment in more detail, let's create a mind map of where this concept fits within Module 1. There are 8 attributes that provide guidance in identifying the existence of a profession. The application of professional judgment is one of these attributes. It is interesting to note here that research by Becker in 1982 argues that professional judgment is the single most important attribute that differentiates professionals from non-professionals. There are a number of different ways to define professional judgment and what constitutes professional judgment. However, in this knowledge clip, we will refer to research conducted by Becker in 1982 to explain this concept. The acquisition of knowledge alone is not professional judgment. Becker argues that it is the ability to diagnose and solve unstructured value-based problems of a kind that arises in professional practice. The application of knowledge and skills is an underlying criteria required for each of these components of professional judgment. Now let's apply that definition to an example. Consider a pilot preparing to land an aircraft. The pilot not only has to achieve knowledge of flight and of the aircraft systems, but also has to diagnose weather conditions and how these affect the landing of the aircraft. The pilot has to solve complexities relating to navigation. The pilot is required to understand how maps and charts are constructed in order to properly interpret them. The pilot must also fully understand the safety margins that are incorporated into the charts and how they affect each phase of the flight, in this case the landing. Part of the navigation also involves the weather. The pilot may have to deviate from the normal landing course to avoid dangerous weather conditions. If this is not possible, the pilot must be able to make decisions based on the known risks. So what may seem like a simple task of landing the plane involves the recollection of extensive theory and knowledge to diagnose issues and identify risks. It then involves the application of skill and experience to resolve these complex issues. So the pilot is making numerous professional judgments when landing the plane. Two powerful examples of pilots saving many lives are the Hudson River landing and the Qantas A380 landing after the engine explosion. You should now consider the different situations where accountants are required to apply professional judgment.